I'll divide the preparation stage wise: prelims, mains, interview. You have to start your prelims focused preparation from the January of the year when you're going to appear. Because I feel art and culture is such an area where, irrespective of the amount of input you put into that, you may not get the necessary output. The question are such outliers, they are from such non-standard books, you're not able to figure out. So you cannot cover these many books now just for a few 1 to 2 questions. You have to just sprinkle the facts. और वो फैक्चुअल नॉलेज कहाँ से आएगी? वो आपका प्रीलिम्स का आपने जो पढ़ा होगा. Your Lakshmikant will not be enough in the sense कि it just provides you the basic fact. Revise it multiple times. This is something you have to do when you're closer to the exam. So first of all, I would say, since you have one full year till 2025 prelims, prepare your own timetable in a way that you are majorly done with your mains oriented preparation till December of this year. And this is something that I suggest to every person who is giving prelims for the first time, or someone who hasn't been able to clear prelims before, that you have to start your prelims focused preparation from the January of the year when you're going to appear. Like from January 2025, your entire focus should be on prelims. So when I was at your stage, when I was starting out, I'll divide the preparation stage wise: prelims, mains, interview, and subject wise also. Okay. In static, of course, I feel those who are not from the humanities background, and even those who are from that, it is always advisable to start out with NCRTs. And there are a couple of NCRTs which are non-negotiable. You cannot miss out on those, because it will really solidify your foundation when it comes to conceptual clarity. And these include, of course, your polity, Indian Constitution at Work, political theory, your ancient and medieval NCRT. A lot of people have this debate of old versus new. You can pick anyone. I referred the old NCRTs, and they're equally good. Then you have geography, fundamentals of physical geography, and that Indian geography valley book. And these two NCRTs of geography are so important. You will realize it till your mains. I can give an example of a question that came in this year's mains that could be answered directly from that NCRT. So for irrespective of whether you have a background, you're optional as sociology or not, you definitely have a society wala part in your GS1. So you can refer to society NCRT as well. It has explained the concepts in a very lucid manner. And for those these are regarding the NCRTs. That is when we are starting out. Once you've done these thoroughly, I do not really recommend making notes out of NCRTs, because as it is, I feel they are written in a very simplistic language, and you don't have to really remember the facts from it. You just have to get the gist of the things from those NCRTs. Then you hop on to your standard books. Of course, a lot of standard books are common across the aspirants and across rank holders. Like for polity, you have to do Lakshmikant. And for history, modern Indian history, Spectrum is advisable. A lot of people continue with Bipin Chandra also, but I refer Spectrum because I feel it is written more in a note-wise format, that it becomes easier to learn from that. And for economy, I personally referred Vivek Singh sir's book, and I continued with his sources and guidance that he gave through his Telegram channel till my mains preparation. That was okay. And for geography, both the NCRTs. For the art and culture, again your red wali NCRT, which is there, class 12. I stuck to that. A lot of people refer Nitin Singhania also, but I personally didn't, because I feel art and culture is such an area where, irrespective of the amount of input you put into that, you may not get the necessary output. Either most of the times the questions are from such the question are such outliers, they are from such non-standard books, you're not able to figure out. So you cannot cover these many books now just for a few 1 to 2 questions. So that output input ratio is very dismal when it comes to art and culture. So I stuck to that NCRT only, red wali, कि अगर इससे आता होगा तो well and good, नहीं आता होगा तो it's okay. I'm anyway not supposed to know 100 questions in my prelims, right? But in that art and culture part, regarding the paintings, that they are not given in a very lucid manner. So I covered it from the government website. There's the CCRT website, you can note down if you want, Center for Cultural Resource and Training. So there, all the schools of painting, the regional schools and the Mughal painting, they are given in a very lucid manner. Although we are not getting many questions from that area since a couple of years, but that is one good source where you can cover the paintings from. Okay, so that was regarding your. Okay, so we are left with environment and science and technology. So for environment, most of the questions are dynamic. Of course, they are current oriented, but for a little, there are. I would say static तो exactly नहीं होता environment में, but there are a lot of predictable questions, जैसे Miyawaki method of afforestation and all. So these can be done from the source that I referred. I could do those questions from that source. So that was Shankar I.S. Green book of environment. I did it multiple times. And it's a very good book in the sense that you can always remember the pollutants, the treaties especially, which are given towards the end of the book. Okay. For science and technology, because I had enrolled myself for Vaji Ram's GS Foundation, so I continued with my class notes of science and technology. But again, it's a very dynamic thing, science and technology. It mostly comes from whatever has been in news. So this was regarding the static part, mainly when you're starting out, of course. Then comes your current affairs. So current affairs has to go concurrently. Okay, so you cannot and you should not accumulate current affairs key at the end of the year. I will do it from PT or I will revise all the monthlies. You have to do it on a concurrent basis so that you're able to revise and it stays there in your head. So I stuck to one newspaper. I referred The Hindu. You can refer either of the two. In fact, during my interview preparation, I used to refer to both of these, and I started liking Indian Express more. So I found it more balanced, and the things were given in a better format, especially the explained page of Indian Express. So you can refer to either of these two newspapers. Doesn't really make a difference. And then you can pick up any monthly compilation of current affairs, so that you are constantly in a mode of revision. And what I did was the monthly current affairs compilation that I was referring, I used to make notes out of it. So that at the closer to prelims, I have the notes of all the 12 months and I don't have to open that compilation again, that book again. So this is regarding your prelims part, of course. And then comes your mains syllabus. So for mains GS1, I feel your modern Indian history and your art and culture, that part can be taken care of if you've done your prelims preparation very well. The questions are quite broad based. For example, even if we take the example of questions coming from modern Indian history, like what was the role of women during the Gandhian phase of Indian national movement? Now that is a very broad question. You have to just sprinkle the facts. और वो फैक्चुअल नॉलेज कहाँ से आएगी? वो आपका प्रीलिम्स का आपने जो पढ़ा होगा. You will be remembering that कि during Swadeshi this was their role, or during the Quit India movement, the underground radio and all, the Usha Mehta, what all were their contributions. So those facts you will be remembering from your prelims days, and broad idea you will of course be having because you have done multiple revisions of Spectrum or your NCRT. So art and culture and modern Indian history are two such parts of GS1 that can be taken care of from if you revise from your prelim source only. Then we have the Indian society, of course. So Indian society, I feel from in GS1, it is quite dynamic. The kind of questions that are coming, even sociology background students are not very prepared. So for that, you can be really observant with respect to things happening around you. And even if you're reading the newspaper or anything that has any case study that has been in news, you can quote that. Besides this, I referred to Mehak Jain ma'am's notes. So she is All India rank 17, I think in 2021, if I'm not wrong. So she's quite well known. You can search her Telegram channel. So I studied society specifically from her notes because according to the syllabus head, she has made all her notes: women's movement and globalization, the impact of globalization on family, on women, on underprivileged sections, on castes and all. So that was for society part. World history, of course, you will be the class notes that you will be getting. There are certain themes that you can do very well. Beyond that, world history se jaise questions aate hain, nobody is ever prepared. We have to always think on the spot there. The predictable themes that you can do is, of course, the Industrial Revolution, the two World Wars, then the French Revolution, America's War of Independence, the Russian Revolution, Cuban Missile Crisis, and all the Cold War era. So all of these topics, these are broad themes, and whatever question comes, you will be able to tackle because of the peripheral knowledge that you have gained from these topics. Okay, then comes the geography wala part in GS1 mains. So in geography, majorly there is climatology that comes. Okay, so that can be taken care of from your fundamentals of physical geography, that NCRT, Blue Valley. And apart from that, I referred to a couple of videos when I couldn't understand some concepts, like this AMOC, anti-meridional overturning circulation, and all these are some concepts that I got confused in. So I referred to certain videos. There are 2 to 3. You can note down the channel if you want. There's Amit Sen Gupta sir. So he explains the Blue Valley fundamentals of physical geography. He explains it. And then there is Samjho Learning. There's a channel by the name of Samjho Learning. And from Raj Tanil ma'am's videos. So she has been a rank holder like a lot of years ago. I think 2014 she was a rank holder then, and she had geography optional. So her videos are also available, and they are particularly very good for all your for your Indian geography, from your Indian geography point of view, for understanding the monsoons and all. So these are some of the sources from where I prepared my geography ka mains oriented notes. Now, how will you come to understand ki I need the notes on these particular topics? So syllabus is your best friend, of course. And besides that, the PYQs. So when you'll be going through the PYQs of GA, there are topic-wise segregated PYQs also. A lot of channels and toppers have put it, and you can just Google search ki mujhe GS1 mein geography ke PYQs chahiye. So there you will get a lot of topics which are repetitive in nature. What has been the impact of climate change maybe on the cryosphere and all. So this is a very repetitive theme. So you can make notes, you can watch the YouTube videos to understand the concept and make notes on these repetitive themes. So that was about the GS1 for mains. For GS2, we have the polity, governance, social justice, and international relations, right? So for polity, your Lakshmikant will not be enough, in the sense that it just provides you the basic facts that you can, just drop in your answers. The major articles, the constitutional amendments, the names of some of the committees maybe. But a large part of the, answer writing for polity in GS2 comes from the Supreme Court judgments that you quote, the major committee recommendations, the second ARC being the most important committee. So for that, I refer to another source. I refer to Atish Mathur sir's polity notes, and I supplemented it with Mains 365. So I had to refer to a couple of sources for polity part because it gets a little technical. And besides that, if ever the newspaper editorials will come in really handy. So what you can do, suppose every time there's an assembly election, there are a lot of defections happening. So during that time, you will get a lot of editorials wherein they'll be mentioning about various committees and what were their recommendations. Most of them, of course, will be repetitive points, but sometimes you will get something unique. So you will just cherry pick that unique point from the editorial and add it to your defection wala notes. Or suppose if there's a notes on the, decline in the functioning of your parliamentary committees, how they are not functioning quite well, and there might have been a committee. So वहाँ से आपने यूनिक पॉइंट उठा लिया कि पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज पे कोई भी क्वेश्चन आएगा, सो आई कोट दिस रिकमेंडेशन. So these were some of the sources for polity. Coming to governance and social justice, so both of these, I would say, जैसे उसमें मेजर पार्ट होता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट्स एंड कमिटी रिकमेंडेशंस, here your data is very important. Data is the key here in governance and social justice. Like the kind of questions, for example, caste-based atrocities pe hai, there's a question in social justice, and you can give a data on, the number of manual scavenging deaths that have been reported, or NCRB ka kya data raha hai with respect to atrocities against particular caste over the years, and the states in which it is the highest. So always keep a tab on these data. Either you can take it from newspaper, but I pick these data from Mains 365 for both governance and social justice part. Because I had my Vajiram ka class notes, तो वो notes तो जो basic answer है that I had, but data I used to pick up from mains 365 and I used to add it to my notes. So that was about the governance and social justice part, and we're left with international relations. So international relations is something, you know, that can be said कि ये थोड़ा predictable है, in the sense कि those events that have been recurring or that have continuously been important throughout the year or in the past 2 to 3 years, they are bound to come. So for instance, during our meals we had this question on NATO. And I mean, it's a no-brainer that because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, NATO has been in news. So it's not like you know, IR is not something that will just throw you off guard. कि ये क्या आ गया? They will come from predictable themes. So you just have to keep a tab on the current international events from the newspaper. Every newspaper has a dedicated section for the international relations, of course. So from that you can, you know, decipher the repetitive themes कि this is something कि ये 1-2 साल से important रहा है, and this there is a probability कि it might come. Besides that, I refer to again Mains 365. I did it cover to cover for the important groupings, the G20, the G7, or you know, any new IMEC was formed recently, Middle East corridor wala. So these things, the important groupings and all that are covered in the Mains 365. So I did from that. So this was about GS2. Then it comes to GS3. So GS3 is the most dynamic paper, and I was the most scared of this also because not everyone is able to score good. I have scored the lowest in GS3 amongst all my papers, and there are very few people who are able to clinch more than 100 in GS3 because it's very dynamic. It has your economy, internal security, disaster management, environment, S&T, सब कुछ है उसमें, and you have to keep a tab on things related to each of these. ये अपने में एक सब्जेक्ट्स हो जाते हैं. And in economy also the problem is कि जो syllabus के heads है ना, they are very broad. Like inclusive growth. Now there can be a lot of things in inclusive growth, right? There can be subsidies, there can be banking, उससे भी there is an inclusion in remote areas, and there can be employment also as a part of inclusive growth. So it's a very broad theme. So it becomes difficult in the sense कि अब how do I prepare this from syllabus? So the book that I referred, Vivek Singh Sir's book, I personally found it well organized for mains also because it had given all the subheads under each syllabus head कि this is the probable thing that can come in inclusive growth and all. So and especially, you know, the agricultural economy part. Acha, there's this one thing that I would like to point कि across all the GS papers there are always इसमें भी एक तरीके से static और current में आप divide कर सकते हो. Static in the sense कि कुछ चीज़ें हैं कुछ papers में जो repeat होती हैं. Like for instance, GS1 में आपका society is always the dynamic part उसमें, because you cannot predict कि society में क्या आएगा. But geography में to a certain extent climatology वाला part कि monsoon से या international vegetation से कुछ आ सकता है, या in modern Indian history from national movement, majorly from the entire modern Indian history जो है आपका, it's very easy to write उसके answers. तो ये कुछ ये GS1 का हो गया. GS2 में जो गवर्नेंस एंड सोशल जस्टिस में है उसमें आपका NGOs, SHGs, cooperatives, these are the repetitive themes. इससे तो आते ही आते हैं, मतलब over the 2 to 3 years में it gets repeated. So ये मैं इसलिए बता रही हूँ ना कि प्रिडिक्टेबल थीम्स, बिकॉज यू कैन ऑलवेज प्रिपेयर आंसर, मतलब आप इसका इंट्रोडक्शन, बॉडी, कंक्लूजन, यू कैन ऑलवेज प्रिपेयर इट बिफोर हैंड, जो प्रिडिक्टेबल थीम्स हैं. इससे क्या होगा कि व्हेन दे विल कम इन द एक्चुअल पेपर, तो आप योर हैंड एंड माइंड विल बी इन सिंक, क्योंकि आपको तो पूरा फॉर्मेट याद है. सो यू विल क्विकली राइट द आंसर, एंड द टाइम दैट यू विल सेव, यू विल स्पेंड दैट टाइम ऑन डायनेमिक क्वेश्चंस, क्योंकि वहाँ पे यू विल हैव टू थिंक ऑन द स्पॉट. So this is the whole game about mains na, ki of course you will not be knowing the answer to all the 20 questions. No topper knows the answer to all the 20 questions. वो ऐसे बनाती नहीं है यूपीएससी कि आपको सबके आंसर पता होते हैं. So but there will be good maybe 11 to 12 questions that you will be knowing. So once you're prepared with the content for that na, you will save up time to think for the rest of the questions. So like I said कि हाँ, जैसे GS2 में आपका गवर्नेंस में ये हो गया, NGOs, cooperatives, SHGs, ये कुछ तो इन टॉपिक्स के आप पहले से इंट्रोडक्शन, बॉडी, कंक्लूजन, आंसर्स आप अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कर लो, प्रिपेयर कर लो, एंड इवन अपने नोट्स में ना राइट डाउन द एग्जाम्पल्स दैट यू विल बी कोटिंग. a lot of times what happens is कि that example is there in our mind and we think to ourselves कि हाँ उस time पे I will write that, but you know we don't know, our memory is fleeting. What if you are not able to recall that particular example while writing down that answer? So it's better कि जो examples हमें quote करने हैं वो हम अपने notes में ही लिख के रखें, so that when we are learning our notes we are learning the example also. So write down those important examples or important initiatives. Like I still remember कि there was this model in Assam that was implemented with respect to improving the nutrition of certain children. The Bongai Gaon model was there. Project Sampoorn, I think that was the name. So a new she's relatively new IS officer only who had implemented in her district. So this I had quoted कि अगर social justice या उस पे आएगा and there is anything related to child and maternal health, तो उस पे I'll quote this as an example. या Kudumshri model, I think Kudumshri is very famous for your जैसे Amul is famous for cooperatives, Kudumshri is for SHGs and all. तो when you have written down that example along with your notes ना, you know कि when you वो अपने आप आ जाएगा when you're writing the answer, it will automatically flow in your answers, that example. You don't have to think on the spot. तो हाँ, आई वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रिडिक्टेबल थीम्स. तो GS2 में ये हो गया. GS3 में यार एग्रीकल्चरल इकोनॉमी वाला पार्ट जो होता है दैट इज टू अ लार्ज एक्सटेंट वो प्रिडिक्टेबल होता है. जैसे आपके लैंड रिफॉर्म्स पे आ गया या टेक्नोलॉजी इन एग्रीकल्चर. अच्छा, आई एम ऑल्सो रिमाइंडेड ऑफ अनदर थीम इन GS2 जैसे यूज ऑफ ICT इन गवर्नेंस. ये एक सिलेबस हेड भी है, इंफॉर्मेशन कम्युनिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे गवर्नेंस में यूज करना है. तो वो भी एक रेपिटेटिव थीम है. उसके लिए भी आप आंसर यू कैन ऑलवेज बी प्रिपेयर्ड विद द आंसर सो दैट इट फ्लोज ऑटोमेटिकली. सो GS3 में यार एग्रीकल्चरल इकोनॉमी के जितने भी टॉपिक्स हैं ना, सो कीप इट कीप और बहुत ही रेपिटेटिव वो होते हैं कि फूड प्रोसेसिंग के क्या चैलेंज हैं, तो एंटायर फूड प्रोसेसिंग का टॉपिक अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करिए. लैंड रिफॉर्म्स क्यों आने चाहिए, क्योंकि फ्रैगमेंटेड लैंड है तो इरिगेशन का प्रॉब्लम है, जो कैपिटल इंटेंसिव एग्रीकल्चर इंप्लीमेंट करने का प्रॉब्लम है इंडिया में. तो ये कुछ ऐसे थीम्स हैं एग्रीकल्चर के जो आते ही आते हैं, जो रिपीट होते हैं वंस इन एवरी 2 to 3 years. सो प्रिपेयर वेरी गुड नोट्स एंड आंसर्स, एकदम मतलब मेमोराइज कर लो कि वो ऑटोमेटिकली फ्लो करे इन टॉपिक्स पे जो भी आपका आंसर है. अच्छा, सो दैट माई सोर्स आई टोल्ड अबाउट इकोनॉमी वाला पार्ट. एंड there are 2 things. I have posted it on my Telegram channel also. In case you want to have a look, you can search my Telegram channel. You can even search my name, उससे भी आ जाएगा. नहीं तो you can write CSE preparation A18 way. So in that I have posted. Now what I'm going to suggest, ये this is for efficient revision when few days are left for your mains. So what happens GS2 और GS3 में क्या होता है, like I said कि इसमें आपका फॉर्डर होता है, कमिटी सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट्स, कमिटी रिकमेंडेशंस और डेटा होता है जैसे GS3 में इकोनॉमी से रिलेटेड. बट इतना याद कैसे रहेगा उस टाइम पे? ऑफकोर्स द मेन सिलेबस इन इट सेल्फ इज टू ओवरवेलमिंग और उसे रिवाइज करना अपने में एक टास्क होता है. तो रिमेंबरिंग एवरी स्मॉल डेटा, एवरी स्मॉल कमिटी रिकमेंडेशन, हाउ विल यू डू दैट? सो आई सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रिपेयर्ड 2 to 3 पेजर नोट्स, 2 to 3 पेज के नोट्स GS2 के, एंड ऐसे ही मैंने इकोनॉमी के लिए. तो जो GS2 के नोट्स बनाए उसमें कमिटी सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट व्हाट इज इट रिलेटेड टू, बहुत ही शॉर्ट में. और सारे जैसे कि सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन पे आएगा सरकारिया है सेट दिस, पुंछी कमीशन है सेट दिस, द पंचायती राज पे आएगा बलवंत राय मेहता कमिटी, द राजमन्नार कमिटी ने ये बोला है. जस्ट की वर्ड्स यू कैन राइट डाउन एंड रिवाइज इट मल्टीपल टाइम्स. दिस इज समथिंग यू हैव टू डू व्हेन यू आर क्लोजर टू द एग्जाम, कि 1 हफ्ते बाद आपका मेंस है एंड सपोज यू हैव ईयर मार्क दिस डे कि आज मुझे GS2 रिवाइज करना है, GS2 का पॉलिटी गवर्नेंस रिवाइज करना है. सो जस्ट क्योंकि आपका जो बेसिक मैटर और कंटेंट होता है वो आपने पढ़ रखा होता है, यू कैन ऑलवेज एक्सपैंड ऑन दैट. यू नो कि मतलब हमें कैसे एड्रेस करना है, उस पॉइंट तक वो तैयारी हो चुकी होती है. बट द प्रॉब्लम लाइज इन कि हमें उस टाइम फैक्ट्स नहीं जल्दी याद आ रहे होते हैं, या यहाँ पे कौन सा जजमेंट कोट करना था, या यहाँ पे कौन से आर्टिकल्स और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट्स करने थे. सो प्रिपेयर अ शीट फॉर दैट, 2 to 3 पेजर एंड रिवाइज इट मल्टीपल टाइम्स सो दैट इट्स एज्ड इन योर ब्रेन कि जहाँ पे भी क्वेश्चन देखा सेंटर स्टेट पे आया, अच्छा ये कमिटी लिख देनी है वहाँ पे. तो एंड द सिमिलर थिंग आई डिड फॉर GS3. सो GS3 में ये चीज़ मैंने सिर्फ डेटा के लिए करी थी. उसमें नेट सोल्ड एरिया कितना है इंडिया में, अंडर इरिगेशन कितना एरिया है, या विमेन फेमिनाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर पे क्वेश्चन आएगा तो कितना विमेन ओनरशिप है लैंड होल्डिंग का इंडिया में, विच इज़ वेरी बैड. दैट इज़ वाई उन्हें क्रेडिट इशूज़ होते हैं. ठीक है. एंड सो ओके, फूड प्रोसेसिंग में कितना अमाउंट ऑफ फूड इज वेस्टेड FAO का क्या डेटा है इस पे, तो वो 2-3 पेज के जो नोट्स थे वो सिर्फ मैंने डेटा के प्रिपेयर कर रखे थे, एंड आई मेमोराइज्ड इट अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स सो दैट इट स्टेज इन माई हेड. एंड दिस इज पोस्टेड ऑन माई टेलीग्राम चैनल. सो आई एम नॉट श्योर, क्योंकि वो बहुत शॉर्ट फॉर्म में लिखा है, आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द हैंड राइटिंग, बट इट इज जस्ट टू गिव एन आइडिया हाउ यू कैन प्रिपेयर योर रिविजन नोट्स when few days are left for your mains. Now coming to GS3, we've done the economy. We are left with science and technology and environment. Again, I think there is no separate preparation that you require for science and tech and environment for mains, because वो भी current oriented topic से आएगा. Like this time we got about Chandrayaan 3. तो it's a no brainer कि Chandrayaan 3 success हुआ था, आने ही आना था उससे. So when you've done prelims के जो आपके notes होंगे science and tech environment के, कंटिन्यू रिवाइजिंग दैट, और प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के बीच में जो भी करंट अफेयर्स, जस्ट कीप अ टैब ऑन करंट अफेयर्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू साइंस एंड टेक एंड एनवायरनमेंट, एंड मेक अ 2-pager नोट एट मैक्स आउट ऑफ इट. तो अगेन साइंस एंड टेक एनवायरनमेंट इज वेरी डायनेमिक. इफ यू हैव kept a tab of the current affairs, you will be able to answer the mains question from that. देन वी हैव द इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी. अच्छा, तो हाँ, GS3 में प्रिडिक्टेबल में एग्रीकल्चरल इकोनॉमी होता है और इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी द मोस्ट प्रिडिक्टेबल एंड द ईजिएस्ट पार्ट आई वुड से GS3 का. सिर्फ 5-6 थीम्स हैं इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी की, वही रिपीट करती हैं हर 5-6 सालों में. देयर इज दिस मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म, बॉर्डर इशूज होते हैं, नैक्सलिज्म है, देन साइबर क्राइम बिकॉज ऑफ द राइज ऑफ ICT एंड दिस. सो दीज आर द रेपिटेटिव थीम्स. इन्हीं से क्या कहते हैं, एक साल मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग से आया, नेक्स्ट ईयर लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म से आ जाएगा. सो ये 5-6 थीम्स के जस्ट प्रिपेयर गुड नोट्स ऑन दैट विद कमिटी रिकमेंडेशंस एंड ऑल, कि बॉर्डर इशूज पे आया है तो you know ये अग्निपथ स्कीम है तो what we can quote this Kelkar committee has said this, the Kargil review committee has said, sorry, Kelkar is for infrastructure in economy, so Kargil review for border issues, the Shikatkar committee is there. So add these committee recommendations to your notes only. Internal security again very predictable, answers prepare करके रखो so that it flows easily वहाँ पे. तो then disaster management. Okay, so for disaster management, try to keep a tab on the disasters that have happened in past 2 years. Okay, so mostly questions come from that. If I remember correctly, the question that we got was regarding the breakdown of dam. So Uttarakhand mein always there is a breaking down of one or the other dam, and then Joshimath cracks were also there. So these are some of the probable themes we know कि ये 1-2 disasters हुए हैं past 2 years में, 2.5 years में, and it might come. तो any coaching compilation you can refer for disaster management, and you will get जो भी recent disasters हैं कि उस पे NDMA की क्या guidelines हैं. and I wouldn't say, मैंने तो बहुत ज़्यादा stats नहीं use किए थे, a lot of people prepare stats also for that, कि you know इस seismic zone में आता है earthquake को लेकर के, या a couple of stats related to disaster management, but I would say कि just keep a broad idea of the disasters that have happened in past 2.5 years and write down the NDMA guidelines for the same. So your GS3 is taken care of. Now the most important paper, GS4 ethics. I would call it the most important because there are 2 to 3 reasons for it. बाकी पेपर्स में क्या होता है, GS1 to 3 में you have some idea about it क्योंकि आपने प्रीलिम्स में पढ़ा होता है. प्रीलिम्स में आपने इकोनॉमी पढ़ी होती है, साइंस एंड टेक एनवायरनमेंट पढ़ा होता है, हिस्ट्री पढ़ा होता है ज्योग्राफी में. सो यू हैव सम आइडिया अबाउट द कॉन्सेप्ट्स इन ईच ऑफ दिस, बट एथिक्स इज ऑल टुगेदर अ न्यू सब्जेक्ट टू यू, राइट? And besides this, a lot of people think कि ethics में you just have to write good things. जैसे स्कूल में value education या moral science का पेपर होता था. People think कि हम कुछ भी अच्छा लिख देंगे just good English में, no matter how vague and impractical that sounds, and we'll get the marks. It's not about that. वहाँ पे story telling नहीं चल रही है ethics में. There's a reason why they've given a syllabus to you. So the syllabus might seem vague to you initially, but it is actually very specific. When you go through the syllabus of ethics, you'll find that they've literally mentioned each of the values and just prepare your notes according to that. अगर उन्होंने value आपको दे दी है already, tolerance पे दी है, just prepare a 1-page note on that कि different philosopher ने इस पे क्या कहा है, and write down the example कि अगर tolerance की बात आएगी, I'll quote and preferably use a civil servants example, ठीक है? और डेडिकेशन टू पब्लिक सर्विस एक वैल्यू देती है. जस्ट प्रिपेयर अ 1 page नोट ऑन दैट एंड राइट डाउन एन एग्जाम्पल. जैसे मुझे अभी भी याद है एग्जाम्पल कि मैं आई हैड यूज्ड एग्जाम्पल ऑफ सौम्या पांडे मैम. शी वॉज एन IAS and she had to manage a COVID affected district, and she was also expecting at that time. So she cut down on her maternity leave after the birth of her child to take care of that COVID affected district. So if that is not dedication to public service, no, I don't know what is. So there are a lot of values and every जो भी कुछ ethics का syllabus में mentioned है, every syllabus head prepare a note on that, okay, and write down the example, preferably of civil servants. You can also quote example of maybe sports persons, because they also exhibit a lot of values, and especially of Paralympians, okay. So मैंने उनके भी examples कुछ note करे थे, and some lot of visionary leaders, if you know what, like Nelson Mandela and all were leaders if they've done something great. Yeah, Nobel laureates के example. So write down these examples when you're preparing notes so that it stays in your head कि हाँ इस पे question आएगा तो ये example मुझे quote करना है. Okay, so that was that about ethics. Acha, now ethics में ना there are 2 parts in the paper. So your section A, section B deals with your case studies. What happens कि a lot of times people prioritize one section over the other without realizing that both are equally important, of course. And I personally find कि section A is something that should be attempted मतलब better, because your paper will be checked from start to end and you will have left your impression there in section A itself. And also I have this theory कि section B में क्योंकि case study है and they are asking for an ethical course of action, so of course no aspirant will give a suggestion, an unethical suggestion. कोई भी एस्पिरेंट ये नहीं कहेगा कि हाँ करप्शन कर लो, मिस यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ पब्लिक फंड हो रहा है होने दो, या मीन्स को छोड़ो एंड्स को मीट करो. नोबडी विल राइट दैट ऑफ कोर्स. तो वहाँ पे देयर विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ सिमिलैरिटी अक्रॉस द आंसर्स. आपके जस्टिफिकेशंस डिफरेंट हो सकते हैं कि मैंने ये कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन क्यों चूज किया, बट मोर और लेस आपके आंसर्स सेम होते हैं. सो द स्कोप ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी लाइज इन सेक्शन ए, जहाँ पे हमें कोट्स को डिसाइफर करना होता है कि ये कोटेशन दिया है, सपोज मार्टिन लूथर किंग जूनियर हैज गिवन दिस कोट एंड व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड, what does it imply, how do you apply it in your life as a public servant. Now that is something unique, not every person will write a similar answer to that. There they check your scope of imagination and creativity. So you have to treat both the sections equally. First of all, that is the key takeaway. Now what I did was to how I tackled section B ka case studies is that I analyzed the case studies from past 7-8 years, and I found that there were certain repetitive themes. ठीक है, जैसे corruption पे almost every year there comes a case study. Then there will be a case study maybe where there is a debate between development versus ecology, कि economic development is happening but it is compromising with the environment. So how do we balance both of these? Then there will be a question on gender justice, maybe sexual harassment or favoritism or misogyny is happening, so gender justice पे, और against the LGBTQ, तो gender justice पे. Then एक और थीम होती है इंटरनेशनल एथिक्स पे. लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स देर आर थिंग, क्योंकि आई रिमेंबर इन 2019 आई सपोज या 2021 में व्हेन आई वाज प्रैक्टिसिंग द केस स्टडी, सो देयर वाज दिस क्वेश्चन कि जहाँ पे एक एथिकल डायलेमा प्रेजेंट हो रहा था कि वी आर सेलिंग आर्म्स टू अ कंट्री, बट सेलिंग आर्म्स में ना एक इशू होता है कि यू हैव योर बायलैटरल इकोनॉमिक रिलेशनशिप ऑल्सो विद दैट कंट्री, सो यू हैव मेड सर्टन कमिटमेंट विच यू हैव टू फुलफिल, बट यू कैनॉट बी श्योर वेदर द आर्म्स दैट यू आर सेलिंग विल नॉट बी पुट टू रॉन्ग यूज, कि उससे ह्यूमन राइट्स अब्यूजेस नहीं होंगे, ये तो आप श्योर नहीं हो. तो वो एक एथिकल कॉन्ड्रम प्रेजेंट करता है. सो एक इंटरनेशनल एथिक्स, इट्स मेंशन्ड इन एथिक्स का सिलेबस ऑल्सो कि इंटरनेशनल एथिक्स इज देयर. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द रेपिटेटिव थीम्स. तो आई रियलाइज कि ये थीम्स तो बहुत रिपीट हो रही हैं अक्रॉस द केस स्टडीज ओवर द ईयर्स. सो आई प्रिपेयर्ड फ्रेमवर्क्स ऑन दैट. I am yet to post it on my channel, but I'll post it like abhi kyunki everybody is busy with the prelims. When mains will be closed, I'll post and give an idea कि कैसे you can prepare a framework. So उस framework में क्या होगा कि you will know कि वो एक तरीके का आपका you can fix it automatically. जब भी आपको पता है कि अच्छा corruption या misutilization of public funds पे question आया है, I will introduce like this, और आपको पता होगा इसमें ethical concerns क्या होते हैं. करप्शन में यूजली देर इज़ अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ योर पर्सनल सेफ्टी, आपकी फैमिली की सेफ्टी वर्सेस विसल ब्लोइंग वाला. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ एथिकल डायलेमास होंगे, तो यू विल बी एबल, जब आपके पास फ्रेमवर्क रेडी होगा ना, आप वो ऑटोमेटिकली फिक्स कर सकते हो किसी भी केस स्टडी पे कि यही एथिकल कंसर्न्स होंगे, यही मैं वहाँ पे दूंगा अपने ऑप्शंस की, क्या क्या हमारे पास ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं और क्या क्या जस्टिफिकेशंस यूजुअली आपकी फिलोसफर्स के थॉट्स होते हैं कि जैसे कांत ने कहा है कि एज अ मैटर ऑफ ड्यूटी यू हैव टू डू इट, ठीक है। तो आपके पास जो फ्रेमवर्क प्रिपेयर्ड होंगे रेपिटेटिव थीम्स के, यू विल जस्ट ऑटोमेटिकली फिक्स दैट फ्रेमवर्क. So for this you have to analyze it yourself. You have to go through the case studies of past 7 to 8 years, find out repetitive themes, prepare frameworks for that. अच्छा, इसमें भी वही वाला लाइक आई सेड कि हर पेपर में एक थोड़ा स्टैटिक पार्ट होता है, और अब जब आप जल्दी अटेम्प्ट कर लेते हो उसको बिकॉज यू प्रिपेयर्ड द आंसर, यू आर लेफ्ट विद टाइम टू थिंक अबाउट द डायनेमिक क्वेश्चंस. सो दैट हैपेंस विद केस स्टडीज ऑल्सो कि जब आपने वो फ्रेमवर्क फिट कर लिए, जो कुछ केस स्टडीज होंगी जो आउटलायर्स होंगी, जो मे बी नई तरीके की होंगी, देयर यू विल बी रिक्वायर्ड टू थिंक ऑन द स्पॉट, बट यू मस्ट हैव सेव टाइम बाय फिक्सिंग दोज फ्रेमवर्क्स एल्सवेयर. तो वहाँ पे आप न्यू केस स्टडीज को टैकल करने का यू विल गेट द टाइम, क्योंकि केस स्टडीज में एथिक्स के पेपर में टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज एन इशू. लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स पेपर बहुत लेंदी भी होता है एथिक्स का, एंड इट गेट्स वेरी डॉन्टिंग टू मैनेज टाइम इन एथिक्स का पेपर. सो दिस वॉज वॉट आई डिड कि मुझे लगा कि इससे मैं टाइम सेव कर सकती हूँ. So that was about the mains oriented part. So interview, I think it will be the most exciting part for everyone. The interview phase वाली जो preparation होती है, and this is something that while talking to other rankers and aspirants, I found this commonality with them कि all of them enjoyed the preparing for their interview. So for interview, the thing is how I believe there is a difference in the mindset with which you approach every stage of the exam. Like when you are studying for prelims, no, सपोज स्पेक्ट्रम है आपका सोर्स, अब आप मेंस के लिए भी उसी को पढ़ रहे हो, जब मेंस के लिए भी पढ़ोगे उसके लिए उससे, और प्रीलिम्स में भी पढ़ रहे हो उससे. बट जब आप प्रीलिम्स के लिए उसमें पढ़ रहे हो, देन यू आर मोर डिटेल ओरिएंटेड. यू आर रीडिंग बिटवीन द लाइन्स कि मैं फैक्ट्स ना भूल जाऊँ, कि मैं क्रोनोलॉजी मुझे याद रहे इवेंट्स की, या कौन लीडर था किस कमिटी में, हु वॉज एसोसिएटेड विद विच रेवोल्यूशन. सो यू आर मोर फैक्ट बेस्ड लर्निंग कर रहे हो. And when you're studying from the same source for mains, then you try to gauge a broader understanding of the things. What were the international events that maybe were happening while India was fighting the colonialist, and how we got inspired from them, from the Russian Revolution, from the Irish Revolution. There we try to get the broad gist of things. And for interview, I think you have to have a much greater clarity with respect to things. क्योंकि मेंस में वाइल राइटिंग द आंसर यू कैन अफोर्ड टू बी जेनेरिक कि 10 मार्कर है, आपने 5-6 अच्छे पॉइंट्स दिए, 2-3 सबने ऐसे जेनेरिक दिया, वो हर एवरी रैंकर डज दैट. बट इंटरव्यू में यू कैन नॉट अफोर्ड टू बी जेनेरिक. नो, दे आर लुकिंग फॉर सोल्यूशन ओरिएंटेड ब्यूरोक्रेट्स. सो व्हेन दे विल बी आस्किंग यू सोल्यूशन की, अच्छा सपोज देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ लो न्यूट्रिशन लेवल्स इन योर डिस्ट्रिक्ट. So as a woman district magistrate, or even as a man, what will you do to improve, because there's a lot of child wasting and stunting, जो hunger index से भी our ranking hasn't been great, तो उससे भी infer किया जा सकता है. तो अब आप क्या करोगे? तो वहाँ पे आप जाके ये नहीं कह सकते कि मैं awareness create करूँगा, क्योंकि that is not a very practicable solution, no. तो वहाँ पे भी आपके मेंस के नोट्स काम आते हैं. लाइक आई सेड कि जो प्रोजेक्ट संपूर्ण है, तो वो आप कोट कर सकते हो कि दिस इज व्हाट समथिंग एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर डिड, एंड अलोंग दीज लाइन्स मैं ऐसा कुछ सोल्यूशन रखूँगा. सो फॉर इंटरव्यू, बिकॉज यू नीड टू हैव अ ग्रेटर क्लैरिटी, अ ब्रॉड बेस्ड ओपिनियन ऑन द इशूज, you have to refer to more than one source. So I refer to both the Indian Express and the Hindu, both the newspapers I continued. And also for interview, the thing is they'll mostly ask for either from your DAF, and current maybe they'll at most go 2 months or 2 to 5 months prior to the date of interview. So because a panelist वहाँ पे बैठ के ये नहीं सोच रहा है ना कि इससे मैं 6 महीने पुराना पूछ के देखता हूँ कि इसको आता है कि नहीं, अभी इसको मैं पकड़ लूँगा इस पर. तो दिस इज नॉट द केस. नो, उसको भी जो याद आ रहा होगा या जो रेकरिंग थीम रहेगी वो भी तो वही पूछेगा. सो यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अ लॉट अबाउट द करंट अफेयर्स व्हेन इट कम्स टू इंटरव्यू. इंटरव्यू में what I did was कि there are 2 parts, of course, current based questions and the DAF based. So DAF is your Bible there. You have to know your DAF in and out. Why? The reason for this is करंट अफेयर्स नहीं आंसर कर पाए, कोई बात नहीं, इट्स ओके, मे बी यू कुडेंट रिमेंबर, वहाँ पे भी देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर व्हेन यू आर सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ 5 पीपल कि नहीं याद आ रहा है वहाँ पे, and they'll forgive you for that. But if you're not able to answer from your DAF, then you will come across as a person who doesn't know himself or herself. Because DAF is your own story. If you're not able to tell your own story, you come across as a very non-serious person. And someone who doesn't take himself seriously, how can they entrust the entire country to you? Right? So DAF is a priority, especially for people who get their interviews early. Like I had my interview in first phase. Interviews started from 2nd January. I had it on 18th January. So all those who have it initially know, we do DAF focused preparation mainly. Current affairs हमारे लिए second priority हो जाता है फिर. So for DAF, I prepared my own notes. Notes for every word that was written in my DAF. Right from your name to your address also. Suppose your address has the name of an important leader, Mahatma Gandhi Marg, Swami Vivekanand Marg. A lot of addresses are like these. Or even your birthday. If your birthday clashes with an important date, let us say. I know a person whose birthday was on 26th January. Now again, it's very important. So you have to check कि इस दिन कुछ important हुआ था क्या, and the date of your interview also, whether an important event falls on that date. So this is just to give you a broad idea how you have to prepare note on every word that appears in your DAF. So Saket sir will be there, of course. Yeah. So that was that about interview.